Not gonna lie, I was bumping some Tupac on the way home after seeing this movie. So I saw All Eyez on Me, and this movie, the only way I could say it, this movie is just a massive disappointment. You know, we've had rap documentaries come out in the past 10 years. We had Notorious, we had Straight Outta Compton, and we have now All Eyez on Me. And Notorious, I saw, was not a big fan of. Thought it was okay. Made the Notorious B.I.G. out to be a massive jerk in my mind. Then you had Straight Outta Compton, which was awesome. Probably one of the best biopics I've ever seen. Oh, and by the way, it's not biopic, it's biopic, not biopic. Big pet peeve of mine. But then, anyway, then we get to All Eyez on Me, and if you were to watch the second half of this movie, I think you'd be like semi-happy. But if you watch the first half, you'd be like disappointed. And that's kind of what disappointed me, is that like the first half talks about like his life, is how he grows up, and the second half talks about his career. But the second half, the first half, it's just so choppy. It's a chopped up mess, because the first half, he's being interviewed while he's in prison for the rape charges that he was accused of, and he was in jail being interviewed talking about his life. And they jump back constantly between the past to the future, past, future, and it was just so jarring that it felt like they just glanced over his life. Like, I hear that Tupac, he had a really complex childhood, and he had a really strong relationship with Jada Pinkett, who they just barely mentioned throughout the movie, and that just is really glanced over. Then mainly focus on his actual career, and his rise from Interscope to Death Row, and his interactions with the Digital Underground, and they mainly focus on his career rather than his life, which kind of defeats the purpose of a biopic, because you want to know his life, like how he grew up, like where he came from, and they really don't talk about it that much. And because in the first half, it's pretty damn bad. It's not very good. Second half, I thought was really good, not 10 out of 10 good, but it was maybe 8 or 9 out of 10 good. The first half, I would give a 4. It just was not. It's bad. But what I like about the second half is that, they really kind of dive in depth about his career, really introduce his music and everything. The overarching problem I have with this movie is the fact that they scrape the surface of this. I'm a Tupac fan. I like Tupac. I listen to his music. But the problem, though, is that I don't know much about Tupac. And from what I've read and from what I've watched, he is a very complex person. There was way more to him than what you would see on MTV or VH1, or you see even in the news, or really through his music. He was a person worth getting to know. And they don't touch upon that. They really just focus on his career, which is something that everyone knows about. Anyone, you could look up his career on Wikipedia and read about it. It's really not that hard. It's not hard to figure out what he went through in his career. Now, the acting. I like the acting. The guy that played Tupac was great. They actually, one thing I thought was a nice touch, they got the actor that played Notorious B.I.G. in the movie Notorious to play the Notorious B.I.G. in this movie. And the guy that plays Suge Knight was great. I thought the acting was pretty on par. But like I said, they just glance over his childhood and barely scrape the surface of his personality. They go in depth about his career, but that's really about it. This movie was a massive disappointment. If you're a Tupac fan, I honestly don't think you're going to like this movie. If you want to know more about Tupac, you're going to feel left out and kind of uninformed. So would I recommend this movie? Kinda. If you're curious to kind of learn about Tupac, fine. Go watch this movie, but you're going to want to learn more and go research more to kind of find out what he was more about as a person. But other than that, you're going to be disappointed, and it's just not going to be a quality experience. But the one thing, though, I don't like about people who are complaining about this movie is that people are saying that it's boring. Most biopics are. Unless you're watching Braveheart, most biopics are going to be boring, but you want to learn more about the person. So learning about a person can't necessarily always be exciting. Now, do I think it deserves a 23% in Rotten Tomatoes? No. I would say about a 50 to 60, but I would not say a 23. It's not that bad. So overall, I give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. My main problem is that it doesn't focus enough on his life and himself as a person, but instead focuses more on his career, and that's a huge drawback in this movie. But I mean, if you want to go see it, I'm not going to say no, but honestly, I think you're just going to leave disappointed. Alright, thank you everyone for watching my review. If you want to watch my last one, it is over here. And I'll click my face right down below and subscribe. That'd be awesome. I upload at least once a week, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!